I guess something I've been trying to educate myself on recently is that it's okay to pivot. I feel like more often than not, like you're so focused on one goal or you feel so rigid and stuck into one system that you end up either losing yourself in that process, even if you do eventually, get what you want and reach the heights you want to reach, or two, you never actually end up making it and you don't end up happy. And I feel like it's underrated to accept the fact that you can just pivot. Like if it's not working for you, if you don't feel fulfilled and whatever it is that you're doing, like it's completely okay to step back, take a pause, and critically reevaluate what you're doing. And it's harder for me too sometimes. Like I really struggle with it just because I feel so committed to what I'm doing. Um, and I don't feel like I feel like giving up would be a waste of my time on whatever it is that's going on, whether it be a relationship or, a friendship or a job. Like, I feel like I would have wasted however much time spent with that person or that job if I have to move to something else or pivot. But at a certain point, it kind of just gets to a point where if it's no longer serving you, if it's no longer like bringing you joy, then you got to move in a different direction, or at least step back and like think about how much more you want to dial in, you know. And I get it's hard, it's definitely a daily battle. You have to remind yourself that like why you're doing what you're doing. Um, but just kind of zooming out and like looking at your whole life instead of just where you are, and kind of seeing where you want to end up at, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, it's a difficult one. It's one of those things that like I sit back and I think about all the time because I think more often than not, a lot of younger people who think very intrinsically will agree that like at late night you think about all the things you've done wrong and like all the points where you should have pivoted and you didn't, and now you're in a situation where you're having a lot of hindsight, but you would have never had any of those feelings or emotions if had you just pivoted before. And that's not to say that like that's regret, but it's just, retrospect talking. So I don't know. I've been really, really thinking about that lately, and just how that process seems really, really difficult in the moment because it's usually not something that people do, or it's just taboo, or everyone says stick it out, like you don't really care, like you this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, like it's not even just for self-preservation. It's just it's got to make sense. If you're at a job that you don't like and it's starting to eat at your soul, you got to leave the job. If you're like in a friendship that starts to get a little mean girly, like maybe it's time to pivot or at least confront the people about it. If you're in a relationship and it's no longer serving you, or you're not getting what you want out of said relationship, it might be time to reevaluate your priorities. Like it's just the mindset of being able to have the courage to do something new and getting over that fear of either embarrassment or that fear of being judged by people or that fear of the unknown. I feel like once you get over that, you'll go really far. So yeah, that's what I've been thinking about a lot recently. Yeah.